Hey folks, today's video is brought to you by Imagine Autos, which is offering you a whole new way to look at pre-owned cars through videos. When using their website, imagineautos.com, or the app, you will have access to video spotlights from their walk-around style footage of the exact car you're looking to purchase. So let's say you'd like to see the condition of the tires. All you would have to do is click the tire icon in the top right corner of the screen, and the video will jump ahead to show you the car's tires. Pretty cool, right? Imagine Autos helps you imagine your next car today, and their app even allows users to experience a legendary new feature of augmented reality vehicle assessment of new cars. With this feature, you can place that new car in your own driveway or even out on the road. It's pretty cool stuff. So head over to imagineautos.com, click the link in the description, and see for yourself. It might be the next big thing in car buying. Thanks to Imagine Autos for sponsoring today's video. Hey folks, starting this one on the move. Zach and I are attending the LA press launch of the Audi e-tron GT and RS GT, two cars. Yep. The GT is Audi's version of the Taycan, right? And in fact, it's sort of like the Taycan 4S with the all-wheel drive. It has a 522 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque, dual electric motor setup with all-wheel drive, 93 kilowatt-hour battery pack, and an EPA estimated range of 238 miles. Clapman?
That is correct. It has the same 800-volt architecture as the Taycan, so it can charge pretty quickly. On a 250 kilowatt charger, you get about 120 miles in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It charges pretty quick. 2-speed transmission, just like the Taycan.
In 2 miles, exit to the right towards Agua Dulce Canyon Road.
Will do.
Interesting pronunciation of Dulce. So you get the 2-speed transmission, which helps you accelerate quickly, but also get good range at the higher speeds. And as you said, 522 horsepower with the overboost function in normal mode. It's like 470 horsepower.
Lots
0 to
of torque.
60, about 3.9 seconds. Like every electric car, it's quick.
Right. So we're driving the GT right now, but obviously the real thing is going to be the RS GT, which is much faster. So we thought we would tell you these things on the transit to some airfield in the middle of nowhere, where we were getting in an RS GT and taking that
in
to the
1 mile,
canyons
exit to the right towards Agua Dulce Canyon Road
to do a review. With lots of miles in Taycans, I will say that what comes to mind first is that this does not feel sunken down in the chassis like a Taycan does. A Taycan feels like a long Cayman. This feels more like a regular Audi, at least in terms of how it looks out the window, the dash layout. They're not getting all up in your face about how this is a performance
exit
EV.
right, then turn left.
Yeah, I feel like when I first got in the Taycan, I was very aware that it was a look toward the future, like the way the gauge looks with that rounded display, double displays in the center. It doesn't really look like any other Porsche. It looks familiar, but it looks like it's from the next generation. This looks like an Audi to me. It looks like any of the other sedans they make. There's probably a few changes here and there, but it won't throw anyone who gets in. They won't feel like, oh, this is a new scary thing. I don't know about this.
Right. It is an Audi that happens to be electric, as opposed to, the whole, it's electric! Good chassis balance, battery in the floor. It's going to be a 5,000-pound vehicle, but it has the chops with the torque vectoring, the big brakes.
Right, so this car, there's a lot of packages you can add to the e-tron, the GT. You can get it either with the Prestige package, which adds a bunch of fancy things, but you can also add the Performance package, which gives you a limited slip diff, more aggressive torque vectoring along with brake vectoring. All the cars have torque vectoring in some regard, but this adds a little bit of extra to it with the brake vectoring, and it has bigger wheels, sportier looking wheels, 5 spokes, and some carbon bits sprinkled around like here to make you know that it's a race car.
Right. So the GT is set up for comfort, it's set up for range, it's set up for highway operation and commuting, right? We are headed to this weird airfield to pick up the RS GT, which is optimized for sporty driving. And then when we have it, we'll hit the canyons and get back to you in just a moment.
All right, through the magic of editing, we are now in the Audi e-tron RS, the faster, more performance-oriented one. 3.1 seconds to 60 instead of 3.9.
637 horsepower and 612 pound-feet of torque make it the most powerful Audi ever sold to the public. Only by a little. Let's the RS Q8 is over 600 horsepower, so it's like it's not an enormous jump, but nevertheless 637 horsepower, 612 torque is roughly on par with the Taycan Turbo. Not S.
Not the S.
Not the S. 0 to 60 in 3.1, like you said. And just so you get a sense of the size of this vehicle, the roof line is 4 inches taller than R8, 2 inches lower than RS7. And if I had to take a guess, I'd say probably 2 inches higher than a Taycan, regular Taycan.
It does look like that from the outside.
Little taller.
Yeah.
Little taller.
This also loses 1 mile of range. This only goes 237
1
on a
mile.
charge instead of 238 in the Comfort
Boom.
Or the regular GT.
Let's see if it goes fast. Zach?
We will put it into...
Throw it in the D.
In the dynamic mode. This will give us the interesting dynamic sound.
Yeah, can't wait to hear the sound.
The steering gets a little heavier. It seems to get a little bit quicker.
You get 21-inch wheels. You got optional ceramic brakes, which this one has. All of the RS GT press cars are fully loaded. So they all have ceramic brakes, they all have torque vectoring diff, they all have rear steer.
And they all have the year 1 package.
Which is basically like a all the options in one kind of check.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. $20,000 for the year 1 package.
Woo!
Making this about, what, 168?
140K base, 161 as tested, which puts it price-wise about on line with Taycan Turbo as well. Zachary is having a good time.
When you have all the torque from 0, like every other EV, I mean, you can come out of the corner and just hit it.
Smash.
And it almost wheelies.
Smash. This one's got Goodyear F1 285s in the front, 305s in the back. They are not run flats, but they are somewhat eco-friendly.
Very quick. It's very quick. Acceleration is obviously very aggressive from 0 to like 90.
Yeah.
And then 90 and above, it slows down a little bit.
A little bit, but it hits second
it's still
gear.
Fast. Yeah, true.
And also, this car, virtually no regen. Some cars, Teslas, the Mach-E, they use regen to help slow you down, one pedal driving, that kind of thing.
Right.
This one is more like Taycan. That is a dirty lens. This one is more like Taycan in that you coast more.
Right. So I'm off throttle now, off brake.
It's just a coast.
It actually went up a couple miles per hour. And this is not a very steep grade. And then if I pull this left paddle, it adds stage 1 regen. And so there's 2 settings, different aggressive levels of regen.
Neither of them is even barely noticeable.
Very true. I barely slowed down at all.
Hit the 0G. Let's see how the suspension does in 0G. Over, yup, and... Woo! Oh, very good.
Settled real quickly. My butt came off the seat.
Right. Something that really does impress me, at least from the passenger seat so far, is that the air suspension, even in the sportiest setting, is not overly harsh.
Absolutely agree. On the drive up here, I was very impressed that this is like an RS car. It's going to be the hardcore sport car, but it didn't crash through things. Like we weren't hearing all the cracks. It wasn't bouncing us around. A lot of cars that have that designation or the equivalent one tend to be a little too stiff.
This one has not gone overboard with the stiffness. And we even heard the Audi people say, this isn't a track day car.
Right.
Even the RS is a highway car, with a blast through the canyons once in a while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It isn't that hardcore, although it's very fast.
Yes, I agree.
The one thing that's kind of sticking out to me, though, especially after driving the GT, is that considering this thing as a base price $40,000 higher than the regular GT, it's like the regular GT is very fast also. And this doesn't really look much different. It doesn't really drive any different unless you're really on it.
Yeah.
Let me have a go and we'll see. We'll see uphill. Lots of room in the driver's seat. Seat goes way back.
Yeah.
Seat goes real low.
And I was able to sit behind you even when you were in your normal position.
Here we go.
Space sounds.
Yeah, nothing hard about it. Just smash the throttle. Right off the bat, steering, no feel at all. Very light, very much like a video game, except with force feedback turned off.
I do like the brake feel though. What I like about this, same with Taycan, of course, is that you don't notice when it's transitioning from the brake caliper to regen, if it is doing a little bit of that. It's really good at masking that, so it just feels like one linear pedal.
It is a smooth transition for sure. I like being able to balance the power through the corners, ride the torque out. Also, if you get into a crash, you're less likely to rupture the battery pack because it has this sort of cage
Got like
around
an armor around it, yeah.
Right.
Z3 mobbing?
Also, they include a heat pump, which is mounted up front, and that keeps the battery conditioned during cold weather driving, so your range is a little more predictable when the conditions get cold. Wow, this is so fast.
Very quick. The steering does lack feel, but of course the ratio is really quick. It's very responsive.
Yeah, there's grip. It's just that, and the car is sorting out the traction part. It's not like I'm unable to tell where the traction is, but it's just nothing comes into my hands.
Yeah, it does a good job of using the torque vectoring and the limited slip diff, which this has, and then also the brake vectoring, which comes with the Torque Vector Plus or also the RS package. You know, all this wizardry that makes you go around the corner really perfectly, in addition to staying very flat in the corners.
Well, it's easy. This is an easy pace to carry up this hill, and it's not a slow pace.
No, it's not. Little tire squeal, but
not super pushy. I mean, it's one of a very few Audis that doesn't have its powertrain out over the nose, right?
Yeah.
So we should be happy for that.
That's true. It's like this and the R8 are probably some of the best balanced Audis.
Right. These Goodyear F1s are a little squealy. See?
Yep. But are they progressive when they start to move a little bit?
That's actually how I'm telling where the grip is and where it isn't.
Because you can't feel it.
I'm listening to it. Hear that? Hear the exhaust? The note? It's a lower pitch. It's not Space Jetsons.
I like it. They added some bass to it. It sounds pretty cool.
It's grumbly.
Yeah, and when it went by earlier today, when we were standing at the airfield to pick up this car, it almost was doing an electric. What you said, like a V8
burble.
Electric burble kind of grumble, which is fun. I mean, they can play with this and make it sound however they want. So you might as well make it sound cool.
Right. So to me, the good thing about the e-tron GT is that they have made the Audi of electric sports sedans.
Yes.
When you get in this car, you don't go, wow, I'm in the future. You go, well, I'm in a nice new Audi, and it happens to be electric.
Yeah, everything in here looks exactly like
Audi.
Another Audi.
Right. Other good things, it's got a good battery pack, good range, good performance. But the much more expensive RS looks and feels a whole lot like the regular GT until you start going very, very fast.
But I think that's a problem that Tesla and Taycan and any other EV will have. When the lower tier cars also make all their torque from zero, they feel quick to most people until you go over 100 miles per hour or until you start cornering a lot. So it's actually going to be interesting what it does to the sales for all of these companies.
Right, as opposed to, the A4 has a 4-cylinder, the S4 has a 6-cylinder, the RS has an 8-cylinder, and now you've got completely different sounds, vibrations, and feels at all speeds.
Right.
When you've just got, electric small and electric big, you're just changing the volume on the same instrument. So that's going to be the challenge. Audi said they're going full EV by 2026. No new gas cars. So what that means is this is the expectation that these cars are going to really share their character, and it's just going to be at a different volume.
What the good thing for the company I just thought of, though, is instead of having to develop a 2-liter engine, a V8 engine, etc., they have a more similar power plant.
Sure.
So they probably save some money there.
I mean, yeah, sure. Hopefully that cost savings comes to us. But you know, I think, you know, the age of these RS cars and the S cars and the basic cars feeling fundamentally different at all speeds, that age is coming to an end.
Yeah.
And that's true in any EV, I think. But this is a very nice car. The regular GT is a very nice car.
Yeah.
Audi's done a really nice job with it. It seems like people are lined up to buy them. And I think this delivers on what you would expect from an Audi luxury electric sedan.
Yeah, I agree.
So thanks to Audi for having us out today to drive the two cars. We appreciate it. Thanks to you guys for watching, and we'll see you later.
And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.